Hello, friends. It is I, Katie Morton.
And Jenn Palmer.
You always throw me off when you say Jenn instead of Jennifer. I never know what I'm going to get.
Some people call me Jenny.
Jenny.
Well,
here we are. Here's our intro. I'm Katie Morton. This is Jenn Palmer, Jennifer Palmer, whatever you want to call her. I don't know. Flow with it. We're both intuitives, energy healers, spiritual teachers, and together we are divinely guided.
And we like to come to you usually at 7 o'clock on the first Thursday of every month. We're a little late today. But we like to connect with your loved ones and spirit guides, mostly your spirit guides, because then we can have really wide-ranging information for everybody listening.
Yeah, and I'm going to just say this. We have an extraordinarily strong preference to not do mediumship and to do spirit guides. So try to keep the questions to that.
If you have something really, really that you need to connect with, and if they definitely come in, we're happy to read. But we're trying to keep it for everybody.
Exactly. And loved ones are sometimes a little personal.
It's very specific.
Yeah. Any hoozles, we have questions coming in. So let's get started.
All right.
Okay.
Are we at the top? No. Okay. Malika and D'Souza says, hi, ladies. Hey.
She is from New Zealand. So hello from New Zealand.
Yeah, hello.
Pretty cool.
All right. Jeannie Butien. Hi, I have missed you. Anything for me tonight?
Okay.
The first thing I'm seeing is it was a vision of what was that movie with oh gosh, something up my tongue. What was his name? He was a comedian. He passed.
Comedian who passed. Gilbert Gottfried?
No, not him. That would be fun. No, it was the movie where he
Rodney Dangerfield?
No.
Is he still alive?
I don't know.
I don't know. Sorry, Rodney.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh gosh, why can't I think of his name? I'm in La La Land.
But Robin Williams?
Yes, yes, Robin. It was Robin Williams, where he and his wife had passed away, and they were on the other side in the heavenly realm. And when he first got there, basically he was walking through what seemed like a painting, and he would like touch flowers or whatever, and it was definitely like wet paint. And but that's what I saw. It was like all kinds of vibrant color, and it was like you were in that scene, and it was almost like it was wet paint. I felt very much about art or creativity.
I don't know what this means, but I just saw like a heart space, and in the heart space, a hourglass with the sand. So it's about time and the heart, I guess.
And the connection with your creativity. I do feel like it's connected to, because when I feel into it, what I'm getting is almost like a hesitancy or I don't want to say inability to express yourself, because it's not that, but it feels like you pinch it, you hold it back. I think out of fear of either what other people think, or maybe it won't be accepted or approved of. There's something I feel like is trying to come through, and it's beautiful, and it's a full expression of who you are. And I think because they showed me that film, I think it is like your heavenly gift. It is meant to be coming through you, whatever this is. And I'm not sure it's painting or anything like that, but I think they showed me that because it is what you're meant to do.
Yeah, I was also getting to that in terms of like the holding back and everything Jen's saying, that there some kind of a healing has to occur before I feel like this can really move forward in a way that's right and true and authentic and comfortable, without it feeling like it's a threat or dangerous somehow. So I don't know if you get energy healing, but that might be helpful.
When I feel like what they're saying to practice doing, and it feels like it's bits and pieces of a bigger picture, and they're not giving me the whole idea of what this is, but I feel like, for example, let's say it was a painting, that maybe you struggle painting, I don't know, a person. Yeah, I know that's hard for a lot of people to just like free yourself of all constructs and ideas of what you think that's supposed to be or look like and just allow yourself with just that in mind. It feels like focusing in on the parts that you feel constricted by and just rolling with it and taking off all of the shackles and let it flow. And if it's something like writing a book or something like that, whatever it is your heavenly gift is that they're trying to show you with this, just let it flow. Don't stop it for anything. And the moment you start to pinch it and stop it, it's time to shut the laptop or put the paints away or whatever it is and come back again another day. Don't keep trying to create through this idea of maybe it's an hourglass, like where everything is pinching and closing.
Mm.
I think that's all I'm getting.
And that's it.
All right.
Okay.
I hope that was helpful.
Mm-hmm. Laura Ernaway.
Hello, Laura.
Hi. She says, hi, ladies. How do you find your purpose and career path? I have a lot to say on this, but let's tune in.
Yeah.
What I was just hearing is doing the healing and taking inspired action. Like that's really the crux of it. And I think they just want me to share a little bit about my story of back when I was really hungry to serve, but I didn't really know what that path and that purpose was or what that was going to look like yet. And I just had to keep taking inspired action, meaning like reading the books when they fell off the shelf and, blogging about it and just putting myself out there in whatever way I could, but also doing a lot of meditating, a lot of journaling, a lot of consciousness work. And a formula that I discovered for figuring out what your purpose is. Generally speaking, we all have challenges and we all have the things that we need to come through. We have to get to the other side of it, to victory, to some sort of place of peace and a higher level in our life. And oftentimes that is what we are meant to help other people with. So I generally say what your purpose probably is has something to do with where you struggle. So a really obvious answer to this could be somebody like, for example, who struggles with alcohol and then becomes a counselor, or somebody who had, a rough childhood and then they figure themselves out and they get the mental health help and then they're able to help others who have similar issues or problems. For some people, it might be they're an organizer because it didn't come naturally to them and they're used to hoarding. Like I know there's this one woman on YouTube who she now does videos about Zen, but she got there because she used to have an over emotional attachment to stuff. So oftentimes where we feel we are the most deficient is where we have the most to learn. And then that is what we are meant to teach once we overcome it and we figure it out for ourselves.
Yeah, and what's going to happen is you'll find that you have a passion for something.
Passion is definitely a huge part of it. Yeah.
A lot of people, they start off in like, I don't know, career. We both were in corporate or government. Like I was doing some government work and, we were both in that space doing things that we didn't necessarily love, but that paid the bills. But things happened along the way that pulled us into a direction. I never would have thought that I'd be sitting here, like, talking with Voltar the Galactic, and bringing forth like great information. That never would have crossed my mind. And I was too busy coding and programming. So, the inspired action is where it's at. When you feel inspired to take a class or to go a certain direction, or when you have that struggle, which, there are catalysts to bring you forth in your ascension path, and your calling and your mission, your purpose for being here is very much a part of that. And it's to say, not everybody's meant to be a healer. And I haven't really tuned in specifically to what they have to say yet about you in this yet, but I think we should to see what they're saying, if they will tell us. But, like even when I was programming and I was a computer programmer, I was learning valuable skills that I still use today doing energy healing. And it's all valuable and it's all a part of the path, and all of the struggles, all of the spiritual gifts, all of the ahas, all the things that come through in this experience are a part of that path. And it's not about that path as being over there. You're on it now. You just maybe not realize, you don't maybe realize what it actually is yet. You don't see the full picture, but it's there. And, but if you just keep taking the next step and the next right, what feels like the right direction for your highest good, you're going to step into what you're realizing is your mission here very quickly.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that, you know, I was hearing like, don't let inspiration die on the vine. So that sounds a little weird, but they're showing me grapes, and it's the idea of like pluck the grapes and eat them as they ripen and they come. Because a mistake that people can make on their path is they want to see that whole picture. They want to know, well, what is the A to Z of what is my life purpose? But it doesn't unfold that way. It's like stepping stones. So, for example, I mentioned blogging, like that was the first step on my path of my soul's mission. But it's a skill I still use today to serve and to help people. And it's like, and at the beginning I thought, oh, that's it, it's blogging. Well, and then it became writing books, and I was like, oh, that's it, it's writing books. And then it became doing videos, and then it was like, oh, that's it. Blah, 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 blah. It's never it. It's like, stop needing to see the end game and the whole picture. It's like, just do the things as they show up. Because if we wait to see what the whole enchilada looks like, all the grapes have rotted. Then you don't progress at all. So it's like really jumping in when you feel inspired to do something, and knowing that you're never going to feel totally ready. It's like having a baby. Like, are you ever really ready to have a baby?
Well, some people think they are.
Yeah, of course.
And then it's born.
And then you're like, oh. You're like, oh my God, I wasn't ready. Nobody's ready. That's the same thing with like life purpose and path and soul mission. Like, you're never really ready. And it's like only by charging ahead stupidly and naively that you're going to get anything done.
Yeah, and definitely don't be afraid of the challenges. That way. You know, one of the things we've noticed just in our own experience and in talking to others, when they really step into their soul's calling and what they're here for, it's not usually an easy ride. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not meant to be. You're meant to grow and expand. You're not just meant to do things. You're meant to be here. You're here for this process. You're here for an ascension process, and your mission here is a part of that. And so just know that there are growth challenges, and a lot of people turn away when they get to that point because they think, oh, it's too hard. It must be that I'm on the wrong path. And sometimes that can be true. You know, blocks are put in your way. Other times it's meant to be, you're meant to overcome something or to figure something out. And that's why getting in touch with your guides and building your intuition, or, you know, ideally yourself, but if you don't feel like you're really good at it or don't trust it or something, find somebody that you really do trust and connect with them and get an appointment and try to connect about it to see if you can get better information. There are still things that we do where we connect with other people who are very skilled and talented that we trust. And when we feel like we're too close to a situation, or we're just kind of confused about it, or our egos are in the way or something.
We're too emotionally wrapped up in it. And then it's very hard to get intuitive guidance if you have an emotional stake in whatever the issue is. It can really skew intuition. And so that's a good time to consult a professional.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, you also really, really, really need to connect yourself as well, because that connection, which is why we teach this, that connection is so important so that you can, you know, be sure you're out of the way and moving in the right direction, because our egos like to put up self-sabotaging blocks.
Yeah. Shameless self-plug time. Go to divinelyguided.tv and sign up for our soul growth group. And then you can learn intuition.
It's a great group.
It is a great group.
Yeah, we have a good time.
We do. We meet twice a month, and there's always a Zoom option, so you don't even need to be there in person.
Although it's a lot more fun in person too, I think.
If you're local.
Right. Great community.
Then that's it. Okay.
All right. I was like, wow, you don't think it's a great community?
No, I was just seeing if there was anything else for
it is a great
Laura.
community.
It is. It's an amazing community.
All right, Joseph Battaglia. Anything for me?
Okay.
How you doing?
Yay, hi. I do have like this feeling like you're feeling a little lost, a little at loose ends, and they did just want me to talk about the this is for everybody. It's like the energies and the overall like flavor, I guess, of what people are going through is the astrology is really dredging people's shadows right now. So
I think we need
everybody's
more of that.
I know. So I think Jenn has started saying, it's probably about 2.5 years ago now, we're squeezing the last bits out of the tubes of the toothpastes. No, now we've cut open the tube of toothpaste and we're scraping it. Like there's always more apparently. But yeah, so this summer apparently might be a little challenging. Yeah. Anyway, so just know like we've got like this whopper supermoon coming up on I think June 13th in Capricorn conjunct Pluto. So I don't know. Good luck, everybody. But
But I do want to say, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I've been feeling a real shift in the energies though. I mean, for the last couple of months, especially, things have shifted. And it's not quite so like I'm holding on for dear life, you know?
it's not. So you're a little bit ahead of the curve, I think, though, Jenn. So I mean, for the general population, they might still feel in their personal lives like everything is just like a god awful wreck.
It does look like a god awful wreck. If you only look at the physical, if you're not seeing and feeling the energies and the shifts and the energies, it is a god awful wreck. It happens sucks out there sometimes. I mean, to be blunt, it really is not fun.
But now she's going to say something comforting. So listen up.
What we hear, what we get is all is going well and people are waking up and good times are really coming. I don't know how long that's going to take, but things are shifting. And Joseph, just on a totally different note, what I heard before we went down this little rabbit hole is sea salt. I think you need more sea salt. I think you're deficient. So I think you need some minerals. So not medical advice, but yeah, I think you need more salt.
Who doesn't love salt?
I know. I don't know.
Delicious. Yeah. So enjoy.
So yeah, I evidently, sea salt helps your body in so many different ways. There's a lot of minerals in there. So check it out. See if there's something it might help you with and maybe just add a little bit more to your diet.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. I know, very specific.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Faye. Hey, Faye Robbins. She says, hi, ladies. Any message from my guides or any family member, Joe or Barbara? Okay, Faye. See what we get. I just heard we're excited for you and you're moving through some blocks and that things are going to look better for you really, really soon. I think partially, at least, it's around money. Something's going to open up.
I think also love. I keep seeing pink. A lot of pink. Pink is a kind of a heart activation color. It's like a transmutation color. It helps take the old crud in the heart chakra and it heightens it up and raises the vibration. I just get a feeling you're going to be feeling more peace real soon. And it feels connected to love. It feels connected to money. It feels connected to, I keep seeing kids. So I don't know if there's a worry going on about some kids in your life, but I keep seeing that. So I think it has something to do with them. Maybe grandkids.
I'm just hearing every area of your life is going to start showing improvement. You just said, is that for everybody? And they said, nope, not for everybody. It's for Faye, though.
Well,
win some, you lose some.
We all have our process.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys can hear my stomach is
I
growling.
can hear your stomach growling. We didn't have time for dinner before live. I didn't even get a cookie. I'm just like, well, just gonna be drinking some water.
So I don't know if you guys noticed, but we're in a new little setup here, and we got Katie moved.
In my new house.
Yes, and so we have a new little backdrop here. So
and we had some work to do to get the room ready. That took us a little.
We were rushing
longer than we thought. So, but here we are. We did it. This is our new set. So, if you hate it, tough. I hope you like it.
We kind of think it's neat. I don't know, a little.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Let us know. Drop us a comment.
All right, but Faye, I think all things are going to be coming up, Faye, real soon. I would even say maybe you're starting to see some things by the end of the year. Like, cool. That's how it feels.
Yeah, maybe even sooner. I think you're going to start seeing it sooner. At least hints,
Feel into the energy of things. Things shift in the energy before you see it in the physical. So try to feel into the energy of what's happening in your life.
I just heard that as all.
Okay. Jess Mack. Good evening, ladies. How you both are doing? Hope you both are doing well. I'm not reading well. What do I need to hear tonight? Thanks. I don't know why I always get visions of you outside. But I got another vision of you outside, and there were flowers, really pretty flowers all around, and you bent down and picked up a flower and brought it up. I'm not sure what it means yet, but I wanted to put that out there in case you're getting anything.
What I was just getting is the concept, and I think this is for everybody, but also you, especially Jess. The idea that we often are like waiting for it to feel like our life began. Like we're often waiting. You know what I mean? It's like this waiting for things to like show themselves to us or come together in a certain way. And then we spend our entire life like waiting for it to start. And you can go years like that. And I feel like for you, Jess, it's about taking that and like inspired action and just like doing stuff and trying to live life to the fullest and really getting out there. So I don't know if that has to do with like outside, but like continuing to or starting to just be out there and be like, oh, this is actually real life. Like it has started, it has begun. Like maybe even symbolically creating something that's like a starting line and like stepping over it and being like, oh, my life, it starts now. Like it starts now. I'm going to stop waiting. It's a sense of like leaving that feeling of waiting behind and being in this forward motion energy and that feeling of, oh, we're living, like, oh, we're doing it. So.
Yeah, and I think part of what I'm getting with this flower scene, that when I feel into it, it's almost like there's all these beautiful options in your life and all these beautiful things that kind of pull you off into the flowers, not into the weeds, but into the flowers, and it's enjoyable and it's fun, but the action is actually over here. You know what I mean? It's almost like I don't want to say a distraction. It's a beautiful distraction, but it doesn't feel like it's necessarily leading you to what's needed. Like I say, keep going. There's something else.
So they want me to say that there's like deep down, you might actually know what you're supposed to do, but there's always excuses and reasons not to do it. And so my guides have given me this exercise, and a lot of our people in our groups have done the exercise. It's called like excuse neutralizers. It's this journalizing exercise. We're journalizing exercise, an exercising journalizing. I don't know. So what you do is you actually write down your excuses, because usually what we do is we just like in the moment we'll get that inspired action, that urge, and then we're just like, oh well, I would, but whatever. We just think the thing and then we don't do the thing. So what this exercise is you actually write them all down. So you're forced to actually look at them and consider them. And then what you do is you write two columns. One is here's all my excuses. And the second column is here are the excuse neutralizers. And so what you're looking for is a higher truth, a truthier truth, but that drives you towards the inspired action or gives you permission to do it or encourages you to do it. And that's it. That's what I'm getting.
Well, it makes sense because I was kind of getting a feeling also that some movie I'm sure I've seen where it's like, these two people, this guy and this girl are friends, and all their lives they were meant to be together, but they kept like not seeing each other, like in that way. And so like the love was right in front of your face the whole time. And then it's like all of a sudden, oh, wow, there you are. That's kind of how it felt like the message was. And they were using that as kind of a symbolism for what it was trying to come through. So I think it is that. And then you said that. So I think it really is like either you know it or you subconsciously know it. And maybe there's excuses or there's reasons.
It always feels like reasons. That's a thing. I'm saying excuses. You might say, I don't have excuses. I have reasons. It's the same thing, same exact thing. So write down your reasons and neutralize them.
And we all have our reasons.
We all have our reasons. Yeah.
Which is why we need that exercise.
Right? That's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
So y'all can use that. It's wonderful.
Aw.
Hey, Roxy. Roxy Romano says, I love the silly. We love you too. We haven't seen you in a while. Oh, Malika and D'Souza says, any messages for me today?
Let's see.
Let's find out.
Well, the first thing I heard is God bless you. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, what's going on?
I saw a boat in choppy water, so you might be going through something. It might not feel like there's an end in sight. It's a vast ocean.
The feeling I'm getting with this, I'm kind of hearing some words, but it's more of a feeling. So we'll see. We'll see how it unfolds. It feels like a lot is on your shoulders where, you're doing something really good for somebody or maybe a group of people. But it just feels like the building up of good karma, basically. And it's hard, whatever this is. It almost reminds me of maybe taking care of a loved one. But there's more on your shoulders than maybe you thought you would have on your shoulders. And you're doing it out of love in your heart or maybe goodness or an idea of a bigger picture for what you're going through, even if you don't feel like you're being perfect through it. So whatever this is, you're doing the right things. It feels like you're on the right track with things. Let's see if we get anything more specific or anything else.
I'm just seeing sort of like waves are crashing against the boat and you're like holding on.
I heard emotions.
Oh, that makes sense. Water.
Yeah.
So water is often symbolic for emotions, but it was like you're wearing like a rain slicker and you're just like soaked and hanging on and the boat's rocking and it's like, oh my God.
Not fun times.
No, it feels, emotionally dire, but I also had this feeling like it's all an illusion. You know how sometimes we're in our emotions about something because something feels so catastrophic, but it's like, well, behind all those clouds, the sun is actually shining, but we're enduring this experience that's evoking all this emotion in us that makes us feel like it's just like god awful, when maybe it's, I feel like not as bad as it's being portrayed, if that makes sense.
And I feel like one of the emotions might be fear. And, all of our emotions really, especially the more negative ones, tend to be because of the way we think about something.
Yeah.
And there's usually better ways to think about things when we find ourselves in those lower vibration emotions. And, we all get into that space, and even Katie and I get into that space and we have to work our way through it.
No.
Yeah. You do. And you need someone sometimes to coach you.
Sorry, just my crystal.
We do. But, coaching yourself out of it sometimes is hard. And even the best of us, it's you get stuck sometimes. You get like pulled off into this whirlwind of emotion, and it's hard to get out sometimes. But when you do get into that place, try and see if you can become the observer of whatever is going on, and recognize that we're always in a process of some kind. Sometimes it's harder than other times, and you're not going to be in a process forever. And the longer you sit in the muck of it, and the longer you toil, or the longer you sit in an emotion and don't heal through it or work through it, the longer you're going to be in that process. Or that process or that experience might end, but you're still in a process. So another experience will come to take the place of that.
Gross.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's important to get the messages. It's important to get the lessons and heal the karma, or do the good deed that you're meant to do, and everything else. Because if you don't go through it, you don't finish. And sometimes you just need to go through the darkness of whatever you're in, that dark cave, and there's no light. And you got to go in there, and you got to face those demons and spiders and bats and everything else you think is in that cave. And you got to walk through so that you can get to the other side. And it's kind of like you can't move forward in your soul's growth until you get through that darkness, whatever it is, at any point in time in your life. Most people try to run from that darkness, and they try to run from the process.
Or they try to cling to or attach to things to buoy them that they're not meant to attach to. So my guys are just bringing up the idea of, so like, let's say you're in your worst nightmare situation. What do? You be with it, and you try to be with it from a higher perspective.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all we can do when we're faced with triggering situations. Is we can't wish our way out of it. We can't run from it. We can't hide from it. We can't try to latch on to, somebody else or anything else for pleasure or escapism, or, all the things that we use to cope. For some people, it's, it's like TV, it's sex, alcohol, shopping, going out, even reading self-help books. Like, there's a million ways people like run from the real work they're meant to do, when sometimes it's really just a flick of the thought wrist. Like, you're just supposed to think about it a different way or perceive it in a different way.
A consciousness shift. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or a healing of some kind.
Or a healing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times, like, for example, let's say there's a breakup, or maybe you have a loss of a loved one or something. So there's a loss there that you're facing. You have a choice. You can get angry and negative. I lost somebody. You can waste your life. And we've seen people do this. They waste their life. Depressed and angry and bitter, and the universe and God, they turned their back on me, whatever, right? I mean, there's all kinds of stories of that. Or you can use it to help open your heart more deeply, or to learn how to love more deeply, or to love yourself, right? I mean, just to appreciate and love who you are. And so when we hide, I don't know, you jump onto the next relationship, or you get a self-help book about calling in the one, right? And because there was a book called that, Calling in the One, without doing your work. But what I love about that book actually is it makes you do your work. So that is a good book if you're looking for somebody.
My guys recommend it a lot. I've never read it, but my guides.
Yeah, I haven't read it either, but I knew people who have, and they were like, whoa, it's a powerful book.
Yeah, I've had a couple clients read it, and they loved it.
But yeah, it's your process is really important. And so whatever your version of the darkness is at this point in time, or the heaviness that I feel with you right now, or the responsibility, maybe is a better word, that responsibility, it's important, even when it's tough. see what the lessons are. There's usually more than one reason we go through the things we go through, usually more than one. I think the universe likes to package things so that we get the most benefit out of a certain experience, and so they throw it all at us, I think, whatever way we can open our heart and learn a lesson and clear karma all at the same time. It's going to happen. Mm-hmm. So we love you and wish you well. And I just feel like so much is coming. Very, very good. Mm-hmm.
And I heard this too shall pass.
Mm-hmm.
Hang in there. All right.
All right. Sharon McNichol. Hi, ladies. Are there any messages for me tonight?
Okay. All right, Mike, I just want to say, you want me to say this. I didn't want to do it because it seems sort of like insulting. So nobody take this personally. Everybody just have a good time, okay? But there's a song that I sing to my dog, like anytime I'm in the kitchen, and then she, it's the kitchen, right? So she makes it about her. And then I have to sing this song that says, believe it or not, it's not about you. So,
okay, that goes in line with what I was just getting, because I was hearing a song. I saw, what was it, Pat Benatar? I don't know who this was, but from the 80s, and she was wearing the 80s workout gear, like the leotard and the hot pink and, some short spiky hair. But it's that song, and I don't know the words, but it's like, dun, 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 all taking and no giving.
I
don't know. But that's the part that stood out. It was like all taking and no giving.
Okay.
So, but it's not about you.
Yeah, what I was hearing is that, so it's about not taking things personally, and that I think there is somebody who's disappointing you, and that it's really easy to make it about you because it always, like we are the center of our universe, right? It always seems like it's about us. And in this particular instance, it's not. Whether this person is going through something or they're acting that way because they're wounded, or you're perceiving it in a particular way because of your wounds, but there's definitely a misperception happening. And I think this message applies to a lot of us in a lot of different situations. When someone disappoints us, we often do make it about us, right? Because we're like, how could they? Oh my God.
Well, the part that you do need to work on is, whenever you're triggered, there is something for you to look at.
Yeah.
Now, it could be that person that's triggering you really is messing up. I mean, they're really doing something wrong. And to not take their stuff personally, like that's theirs on their side of the street. It doesn't matter if it's a narcissist or whatever they're doing. If they're flinging stuff at you over under your side, just give it back, but then be very clear about what you're meant to figure out in this situation. What are you meant to go through or learn or heal around all of this? And so that's the piece, if you are triggered by any of it or hurt in some way, there's something for you, but it's not really about you in this case.
Yeah, sometimes it's about boundaries or getting a backbone or, I just heard yup.
And it's reminding me, it's so funny. There was one time I was having, with somebody I knew, I was having an issue and I was really upset, and they were kind of accusing me of saying some things, and I was really confused as to why it was me. But I'm always very open to looking and trying to see if I have something to learn or grow or something. Did I do something wrong, or do I need to see something differently? And I was really churning about it and really upset and really in my head about it. And this was probably maybe 10 years ago. And Archangel Uriel came in, and the love I felt was just so immense, so beautiful. And So Uriel came in and I heard, "This is not about you." And I was like, okay, is there anything I need to shift? No. And I just felt this peace. And it just, I mean, literally, and I was laying in bed and I was like, great, I'm never going to sleep tonight. I'm going to be up all night worrying about this and churning it. And that peace came in. I was asleep within a minute. And I woke up the next day. I was like, all right, I'm good, And my part in that actually, I think, was just understand the sides of the street. Like, people are going to accuse you of things that really are invalid. And it's really their shortcomings or their misunderstandings or their distortions. And to get really clear, and to be neutral, is there something I need to understand? If there is, then help me work through it. If there isn't, then help me get past it. Like, just be done with it. And it just sounds like this isn't for you, whatever this is.
Mm-hmm. We have spoken.
Yeah, they pull back.
That's it. All right. Shirley Sampson.
Shirley Sampson.
Hey, Shirley. She says, hi, how are you, ladies? We're doing well, thank you. How are you, Shirley? She says, anything for me. Okay.
Okay. Immediately, I was seeing, those games. What are they called? Like pickup sticks. Like you dump them all out, and then you gotta, like, I don't know, pick them up without moving them or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played that since I was a kid. But yeah, I saw that, and it felt like very much like very gently trying to pick up the sticks without making them all fall.
You just saw you, Shirley, saying, I do feel that way. And I feel like, yeah, it's like life is feeling precarious. Now they're showing me the game Operation, where you have to like use the tweezers to pull the little plastic parts out of the patient without hitting the wall and setting off the current. And I just heard, not as precarious as it feels, my friend. Not as precarious as it feels. So they want to talk about like vibration and manifestation.
Yeah.
And, we are our own worst enemies with that. And there's usually something that we need to heal or solve or look at in a different kind of way so that we can vibrate in a different kind of way so that we can experience different kind of experiences. Abraham Hicks is a really great resource for that, of getting into the energy of what it is that you want to create and getting out of the energies of what you created that you don't want anymore. So I would definitely give that a shot.
Yeah, I think a lot of us, what we tend to do is we look at what's missing in our life or what we want because it's out there. And so we really dive into the weeds of it, and we look out there and we're like, all right, I want to create this thing, or I want more money, or I want this experience. And we go there and we're like, but it's still out there.
And then we feel the lack of it.
Yeah, especially when it doesn't show.
Right?
Yeah, come on, guys. But the key, from everything we've been studying and understand about it, the key really is to act as if it's already happened. And to have that attitude of, this is what is. There is nothing else in front of me. Even when the physicality seems like it's still showing up as the old energy. But like I said before, everything has to shift that energetically before it shifts in the physical. And too many times when what we're seeing in the physical isn't matching what we think the energies are showing up as, we get frustrated. And that frustration or the disbelief in what's coming pushes everything back again. So the energies then push back. The goal is try to hold that energy as that is the truth, and to kind of disregard what's going on in the physical while still dealing with the physical. You know what I mean? Like you can't like not pay bills or something.
I feel so abundant.
I'm going to Fiji right now. So
right.
My money's for Fiji. Sorry.
Sorry, you're not paying my mortgage.
Yeah, can't do that. But the energy of Fiji still needs to be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's really what's important with that, and work on shifting some of that.
This song, The Power of Love, it's Huey Lewis in the News, is playing in my head. And I think it's really getting into that strong vibe of love and loving your life and loving yourself and loving the people around you, even when they annoy you. It's like just really being in that joyful, high vibe state. It heals a lot. And it's not about faking it, right? Like, we don't want to use it to just like plaster over all of our stuff. We still have to do the consciousness work, and we have to acknowledge what is, what exists, and work through whatever we got to actually work through in order to get into that higher vibration and that higher perspective. Because as an energy healer, and we can feel energy, and I know what it's like when somebody suffered, for example, the first time I met this woman who had lost her son, and she's this extremely upbeat, adorable, lovable human being, and she's so positive all the time, but I could feel her heart wounds. And she was trying so hard to manifest and be positive, but she still had some healing to do. But she had hidden it from herself in her relentless positivity. So it has to be done in a way that's super authentic and honest with ourselves about what our wounding is, and coming to terms with it and actually healing this stuff, because the vibration doesn't lie, the energy doesn't lie. So, it's not like you can't fake it till you make it. It's like you really got to do the healing work and the consciousness work in a very real way, so that your actual physical vibration of your body is high.
Truth. Absolutely.
And that's why energy, not to sell services, but that's why energy healing is great, because often a healer can push stuck energy out of the body or talk you through things and help with the consciousness work.
Right on.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Roxy Romano. I'd love any insight on what is my purpose, feeling a bit of lack of direction.
Okay, Roxy.
So I had a funny image. It was really funny. I saw you, your fingers were up, and you're like, pew, 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 pew.
Good times.
It was good. My feeling of it was like light. It was almost like light beams were shooting out your fingers. And I think that is representing, and we'll see what else we get. I think it's representative of giving with your, like, it's almost like a giving, and it didn't feel like a bad thing, like you were shooting people down. It felt like you were giving them your light, if that makes sense. It was a very positive thing. And, but it was almost like, and a little for you, and a little for you, and a little for you. That's kind of the energy of it. So I don't know. See what else you can get.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm hearing that you're supposed to help people on a deeper level than what you currently do. And so that there's that feeling of like a lack of fulfillment.
But it definitely feels like a lot of people. It feels like groups. It doesn't feel so much one-on-one, although that might be part of it. I'm seeing groups of things happening.
Yeah, and I don't know if you were watching from the beginning, but earlier in I think maybe the second question was for Laura Ernaway, and she said, how do we find our purpose? If you didn't hear that part of the video tonight, at the end, not right now, we're still talking to you, but at the end, go back and listen to that part, because that'll give you some direction, I think, in terms of how to find your purpose. But I just want to see if there's anything else specifically for you to know. I feel like you have insights for people that you tend to keep to yourself. And you feel like it's not your place or not your business to speak up. And I think you are supposed to speak up. And this feels like sort of a coaching kind of a thing. I mean, I did see you sort of like doing hair and you're like talking to your client and like they would say, oh, I have this whole big thing. And they like just talk. And you sort of bite your lip. And it feels like you're meant to interject.
When I see you with a group, I really do.
Yeah, and I did feel like that's how it starts, but then that's how it goes. Like you're supposed to bring it into an official capacity. I don't know, let us know if that resonates. But the word official capacity. So I don't know if there's some sort of like a training you're supposed to do. But don't get too caught up in certifications and training because I see people use that as a reason. Well, they can never just actually go do the thing and do the helping because they need the latest training or certification. So don't fall into that trap. And
it might be something along the lines. I keep seeing Long Island Medium. I keep seeing her. It might be something along the lines of mediumship. Mm-hmm. And like doing group mediumship.
Yeah, I had the feeling, honestly, when I was the image of you like doing hair and talking to people, it was like you're getting this inspired guidance coming through that you feel like you should say something, but like you don't say something because like what if it's weird or whatever. So, maybe tap into that.
It's all weird.
It's all weird, but it's good.
It's good. It's
so
good.
Tap
weird.
into it. Go for it.
One more?
Sure. Deb Garbin. Sorry, Deb Garbin says, can you tell me how I can better understand my guides? Yes. So right off the bat, they're launching me straight into a talk about the witness and becoming the witness of your own thoughts. Because we all have our inner monologue, right? And there's a meditation style you can use, which helps you to separate out from your ego where you're just observing yourself as opposed to collapsed with the smaller ego self. You're sort of viewing yourself more from the perspective of your higher self. And in this observational, loving kindness, non-judgmental state, you're watching your thoughts. So, for example, there's a difference between like, usually we're thinking, and we're like, well, I really need to go to the library today. And then I'm going to get some dinner. And like, what do I want? Like, I think I want some ribeye, which God, it's like so expensive these days. And I should really get grass fed, but like, oh my God. And then you're just like clogged arteries. Okay. So the witness is more like, so that monologue is going, but the witness is sort of observing and just saying, okay, well, that's interesting. And there's space for questions like, is that true? Do we really need to, there's there's a wiggle room. We're not collapsed in it. We're not just identified with the thinking. We're able to witness it and watch it. And so through this process, which I also think journaling helps me in my journaling, but through that process, you get to know your own thoughts, your style of thinking, your patterns of thinking, the emotions that you tend to get stuck in, your reasons and your excuses and your neuroses and your wounding and like who you're mad at for like, 19 going on 19 years now, like, and why, and all the stuff that you're stuck on and you haven't healed. So once you get very, very clear on what your inner voice sounds like, when guides come in whatever way it is that they communicate, you'll be able to say, oh my God, that wasn't me. It might be the particular type of vocabulary, or if they come through in like knowings or words or images, it might feel like genius, right? Or like very, high wisdom or something that you wouldn't have really thought of on your own. And so if you know your own mind really, really well, when your mind is met with somebody else's mind, you'll be able to make the distinction more easily.
And the other thing they want to add to this is to also take moments to do meditation where you don't use your mind, to really quiet your mind. Mm-hmm. And the more you can learn to quiet your mind, the easier it is to get into a different space to get that higher guidance. Because then you are in control of that monkey mind where you can say, okay, time to calm down. Mm-hmm. And then you go to a different place and you can get that information.
So I would say the steps are usually try mine first to like work through your junk, because usually you can't do that at the beginning. Like that's a more advanced skill to drop into silence.
But to still practice.
Oh yeah.
You're not going to get it right off the bat, but definitely practice.
Yeah. Because once you can drop into silence and just leave yourself behind, then others can come in and join you.
All right.
From that high vibe place. Okay, everybody. We did it. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, we love you guys.
We love you. Come to divinelyguided.tv and join our soul growth group, or reach out to us for healing or a personal session. All right, that is all.
All right.
And we'll see you in a month.
All right.
Bye.